Welcome to Time Wasters Club. This is your host, Eddieism, and this week is possibly the worst recording ever. Actually, it is actually the worst recording I've made here, pretty much by far. Following last week, which was the best recording. How that happened? Well, let me tell you. It's called experimenting and making mistakes. So I actually tested out the recording with omnidirectional in the car where we were driving, and just to see if it was better than the cardio mode that I used at the airport, which actually I was in the back seat, so that kind of sucked. Made it very challenging with a very short stick. Maybe if I had one of those selfie sticks, that would have worked better. Who knows? The microphone's kind of big, so I need a new portable thing, which I think I picked up. Last week was the best recording because I finally dialed in the right position, and something about Ben's house just sounded really good. It was nice and quiet. So you have been warned, and let's see if you can't handle it, then at least you were warned. Promise won't do that. Won't do that again next week, that's for sure. So welcome to episode 10. Let's go ahead and give this a listen, and if you don't like it, then I might disappoint 2, 3, 5 people. Like my friend said, it's not 50,000 or 5 million, so fuck it, it's published. So there was also a point where, many points, where I was accidentally pausing the recording with the laptop in the back, and that threw off the whole conversation because I had to go back and pause it again. This is becoming quite a challenge, so I might have to figure something else out. Maybe just not touching it would work better.
Touching it.
So you will be hearing
Motherfucker!
in between breaks when the recording was stopped and restarted. So you might find a lack of continuity in the conversation when you hear the
Motherfucker!
That's right. But the conversation was pretty good outside of all those technical difficulties. So anyone who wants to record over the net, drop me a line because I'm getting closer to figuring that out. Especially if you have a decent microphone or a headset.
Yeah. You guys want to try this or not?
Let's check it out.
What do you think, Liz? Do you want to try to record?
Yeah?
I'll hold it for a little bit. I'll hold it right now.
Oh, so I have to try to figure out something smart to say?
No.
Is that the question?
You can say something as dumb as you want.
Oh,
but
stupid.
I'm going to record it.
Okay. Stupid is okay.
Stupid is okay.
As long as you don't require anything smart,
I'll put it on the
I'm
internet.
okay.
All right, Bartosik.
I'm here.
This is about as good as it's going to sound. I don't think this is going to work too good for, but it might be fun.
I think it'll be fun. I don't know why I have to have the notoriety being on the first not great sounding Eddieism podcast.
I know, right?
Oh, so this is going to be the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, but now I totally feel the pressure.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Time Wasters Club. This is Eddie. And today, I think I'm breaking it back here. I might try not to record this. Hang on. We're driving out to Joshua Tree right now on the 10 freeway. It sounds really shitty. That's not my fault. We're in the back seat.
It's
gonna pick that up too. That's okay though. Just rip it open at one shot. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I have a very special guest today, the one and only. You've been requested already before, Mr. Bartosik. Michael Bartosik.
No pressure.
No pressure. And then his friend Lorenzo, who I've just met in the last half hour, straight from Bologna, Italia. Exactly. What's going on, Bartosik?
Just driving. and try not to kill us while I talk on a podcast at the same time.
That's okay. But I think you talk all the time, so you should be able to drive or talk.
It would definitely go viral, though, right?
That's right.
If you have to crash, you might go viral.
The last word. You think about what you're gonna say, when you roll over the 10.
Well, the nice thing is we probably won't crash because this is not video; it's just audio.
That's right.
Right.
I might drop the microphone.
Nobody ever does anything stupid on just audio.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. So we're going out to do some climbing and some photography. However, I forgot my camera, but I brought the film.
That's okay. Eddie brought me, so I brought multiple cameras.
That's right.
So I got him covered.
You're a good backup.
That's right.
And Lorenzo, you're a climber too. I take it, or else you wouldn't be here today.
I'm dressed like one.
You're dressed like one.
You can't see because it's just audio, but I am.
It's a good one. That's a good one. So I have some topics for you, Bartosik.
All right.
One of them, I guess, was going to be film, because you like talking about film so much, and
you like talking about.
You listen to a lot of podcasts, film podcasts, and you're a film fanatic. Would you say that's true?
I'd say that I really like film.
Enthusiast?
I don't. Yeah, an enthusiast. Hobbyist? Because I feel like if I was to say I was a film fanatic, somehow it would have to be anti-digital.
No, I don't think that's true.
And I'm clearly not. So I like film and I like digital, but film brings me greater joy for some odd reason.
Yeah, I think if you were a film fanatic and you hated, you're anti-digital, that would make you more of a snob.
Yeah.
Wouldn't count, because I think you can do both. I don't think that's. You could be, and the reason I say that is because you really like film. You just said it. It brings you more pleasure.
Yeah, it just brings me more pleasure.
I mean, you develop film, you scan it, you cut it, you do everything. You do it in coffee grains, right? Like,
I haven't done as much coffee development, but I have experimented with it.
It's just cool. You just do more stuff than people do at all. They don't even shoot a roll of film, and you do 10 times above that, right?
Well, I'd say that it's like everything, right? You find there are tons of people out there who are doing way more with film than I am, and I'm sort of in the middle of the road. But thanks to the internet and the way people are interconnected now, you can find and meet other like-minded people on subjects like that, and then it just kind of creates a perfect explosion of activity for you.
That's pretty cool.
So I'd like to think that, I do a fair bit with film, but I follow people who do a lot more.
Yeah.
So I still feel sort of on the, the middle end of that spectrum.
So that's why you don't think you're a fanatic, per se, because you feel, there's always someone more, right? Like a climbing person, someone who climbs a lot more. Like you just climb once in a while, but...
Or I guess just personally, somehow fanatic sounds like somebody who should hate digital. So
someone bad.
Right? If
we don't hate anybody.
Right. I don't hate digital, and I love film. So if that makes me a film fanatic, then definitely.
Got it. Fair enough. You're so what did we say then? Enthusiast, hobbyist?
Film enthusiast. Yeah. And I think we're all hobbyists, right? For sure.
Definitely enthusiast would be a good word. I think.
Yeah. I think enthusiast is great because it describes my enthusiasm, not to be punny, but a hobbyist is also apropos because I'm not a professional, right?
Right.
And I don't mind having that separation. I think there's not a lot of professionals who are shooting as much film these days.
I know, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on that side of the freeway, but they're fucked.
Hey, shit,
good luck
right?
to you guys.
That's been going on for a mile or two. It's just stopped.
Yeah. You got to tell the audience. You guys can't see this.
But
the freeway going westbound is totally stopped.
And stopped for a long time.
Yeah. It looks like miles.
I know, right? Anyways, so Lorenzo. I don't know who you are.
I am Lorenzo. That's me. You're right.
How's it going?
Good.
You said you're from Bologna.
Bologna.
Nice. How long have you been here?
No, I was thinking of what he said.
Are you an enthusiast too?
Yeah, I was trying to look for the right word. I thought, I mean, I like enthusiast. It's like passionate, you know. It tells you that you are passionate about something. Yeah. But there's another thing that I think you were trying to say is like you're not fanatic, right? In these days of terror, actually, you know, being not fanatic, I think is a very good quality.
Fanatic has like a negative connotation. Right?
Yeah, fanatic as in, you know, I don't hate digital, right?
Right.
Well, I'm okay. I mean, I take digital, I take analog.
Yeah, it seems like somehow
like
fanatic
enthusiast, but at the same time moderate. But when you know, moderate doesn't sound nice. It looks like you're
using
sloppy.
You're using all these political words, right? Moderate, fanatics.
These are political.
Turning into a political podcast today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
sorry, disclaimer.
Yeah. I think, you know, with the events that happened yesterday, it kind of feels like, right, it's like it's probably in the back of everyone's, or maybe not the back.
Well,
it's on the front page of everything, man.
Of your mind, too, right? Like, kind of horrific. You're kind of thinking about it. And then, probably, I guess, I do think there is a little bit of that, right? When you say the word fanatic and you think of what happened yesterday.
It's a negative connotation for
You're like, I'm definitely not that.
Yeah, of course that was...
I mean, that's always... It's, I guess I meant it in a bad way when I said it.
Yeah. Well,
but not like in a mean way. Like, I meant like he's crazy about photography. You know?
No, that's good, of course.
Because like, to me, like, he knows people that do more stuff with photography, film photography, than he does. But to me, he does 10, 20 times more than I do. I shoot a roll every couple months. You know what I mean? I don't do that much stuff with film. So
okay,
to me,
he's a little bit fanatic.
For me, right?
I'm sorry.
No.
Take it back.
But I meant it in a very aggressive way. Like, it's a big difference. You shoot a lot more film. You do like a lot more. But that scale of you know is also leans towards bad, right? Because that's what we talk about. Bad people, they're really bad. They do these really fucked up things.
And it's not about the necessarily about the amount of time you invest in it, right?
It's how deep you go into
it's
it,
more,
right?
Yeah, or I mean the attitude you take.
Yeah, because I feel like, you know, over time I've met a lot of really cool film photographers who then kind of just become not so cool because they really like, they hate on digital photography and they hate on digital photographers, right? It's like, it's like, why can't you just say you like using film and not hate what they're doing over there, right? Like, those are like what I consider like film fanatics, right? Like,
that's totally what I meant.
So in that case, in that scenario, you mean it as bad as well.
I do, yeah, because just, you know, that's my association.
Right, that makes sense.
And I meet those people and kind of on a fairly regular basis. You know, it's like the unnecessary polarization of everything all the time.
Motherfucker!
Have skill and they do photography because it makes them money, but maybe they don't have a passion for it or lost their passion from doing it for so long. And that seems kind of legit. I'm sure we all entered our jobs with a certain amount of passion. That quickly gets
That's not true. The passion was for money.
Yeah.
Passion was to not be broke and have food and
maybe not necessarily quickly, right?
Yeah.
It may take some time, but eventually, let's face it.
Eventually, you're like, I wouldn't do this if you didn't pay me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So the punchline is, it's just photography, babe.
For me, it's just photography.
So I'm trying to learn American. Would you say it's just photography, babe, or is rather it's just photography, dude?
I'd probably say dude.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Babe is different.
Yeah, well, I think in modern vernacular is the right word. You can't say that word anymore, right? Like, it's just.
Well, you could. You just become a little sexist.
Right, it comes out like a little sexist, right? Even if you don't intend it that way.
Or condescending.
I mean, it sounds both. A bit like, I don't know, Marlon Brando or something like that. Or maybe Humphrey Bogart, I don't know.
And like, dude is just kind of generic. It can be pretty neutral, and it can even be gender neutral, right?
Oh, I think dude is definitely gender neutral.
No, yeah, but in that particular thing, it definitely would be. You could say that to someone, boy or girl.
You'd be okay.
It would be okay, yeah.
They might still be offended,
but not because of that word.
Right. But it'd be just because you called them a dude. like because you couldn't remember or didn't learn their name in the first place.
Or because it's just photography. Yeah,
Just photography.
Right, dude. Just photography, dude.
Just photography, dude.
I'm gonna start putting that on the bottom of all my photos.
Yeah.
It's gonna be my new whatever you call that. It's a tagline or a slogan.
There you go.
It's just photography, dude.
Right on. So this thing just paused again, so we missed a big chunk of that.
Oh shit.
I think this one
It's happening again.
Yeah, it might not be usable because it breaks up too much and it's not coherent. I think that's what makes the podcast good, is that it's like this one conversation that keeps going and rolling, and like starts one place and goes somewhere else, and then we're talking about something else altogether. But this was just gonna be like just gonna talk about shit that's not even related all over the place. I don't know how they got from A to B and B to C.
Hey, here's the worst thing. We record it. It doesn't come out great. We'll do another one sometime, and then we'll clip these ones in.
That's right.
Like the little random things.
Yeah.
And then you could be like, but remember when you said, and I'll be like, no, I didn't. And then you can play the clip where I said it. And then I can argue about the authenticity of that clip.
Wow. I agree.
Because that's the next logical level to dispute when people show your inconsistency.
Making up like random conversation.
Yes.
Even more random.
That's right. Right.
This fucking seatbelt's killing me back here. I feel like I'm fighting to move forward, and now we're going up this hill and it's dragging me back, and I'm trying to move forward. All right.
Motherfucker.
10.
Yeah.
We've done this a few times and it keeps fucking up. Mostly because it's a bad situation.
I'm mostly blaming it on the car.
Mostly on Yvonne's car.
That's right.
It's not very conducive to podcasting while mobile.
It's like they had no intention of this being a podcasting studio when they've designed this thing.
In this modern world.
That's
but
right.
They still have cigarette lighters in it.
But it has cigarette lighters and no ashtrays. Actually, I don't know if that's true. It might not even have the cigarette.
No, it doesn't have it. They don't give it to you anymore.
Right.
They just have the connection.
Yeah.
Just have the power
and it's
cord.
empty.
Yeah. It's empty, exactly. Or they have like a little thing that says 12 volt on it, a little plastic thing on it. So
I think we should start a thing where we go out and find vintage cigarette lighters,
And
just
sell
so
them.
we can fucking have it.
That'd be really cool, actually, because they come in handy. Just because people don't smoke, you want to burn something sometime.
That's right.
So yeah, it's good.
You want to burn something
Sometime. But isn't it? When I was a kid, I would put it in, even when we weren't smoking. My dad didn't smoke. I would push it in and take it out and just play with it, just to look at it, because the little coils look so cool, all like red and
Oh yeah,
on fire.
glowing.
Yeah, it was awesome, right?
Yeah, some part of me just thought, man, if we had one of those, Eddie'd be fucking branding me right now.
I would probably catch fire on something and burn something myself for sure. But
That's true. All right, this is a bad idea.
Pyromania. I think it's natural to like stuff that's destructive. Fire, breaking things. I don't know. Fire especially.
Fire and I think
Like campfires. Don't you love campfires, right? Like,
I love campfires.
or
Except for
fireplaces.
smoke.
The smoke sucks, but
I hate the smoke.
the fire is awesome.
The fire is awesome, and I love the fire so much, but I hate the smoke. Like, I have gotten to be a pansy in my older age.
Just when it goes in your eyes, it
You
really
don't
sucks.
like bonfire because you don't like the smoke? I'm sorry, I was a little
Yeah.
odd for a second.
Like, I feel like when we come home from camping and all my
Smell.
shit smells like smoke for like
Oh,
days, like
yeah.
I'm like
I know.
kind of a little bitter.
It also
about
smells like burnt sausages most of the time, right?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
may be even worse. Or, depending on the taste.
That's classic.
Burnt sausages. It's like, I don't know what kind of campfire you have, but
That's right.
we have a regular kind of campfire. So we were talking about Alexa.
We were talking about Alexa
I was
earlier.
writing Alexa right now.
Why were you writing Alexa?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you later.
Okay. What? So tell us about Alexa, Bartosik.
So, for people who don't know, Amazon created a spy device that they can stick in your house.
You got to get us radio voice. This podcast was brought to you by Amazon.
Oh yeah, this
Alexa.
This podcast is brought to you by Amazon's Alexa /Echo.
Cool. What's their marketing campaign?
I don't actually know. I haven't really looked at their marketing.
Why did you buy it?
I didn't buy it. Yvonne bought it.
Oh, Yvonne buys all the used stuff, right? Just
Yeah.
she wants.
And it's because she saw it on there, and the idea of having, honestly, like we've gone to a bunch of people's places recently for little parties or events, and they always have like a small portable speaker, right? That like you can come out and they sound decent enough and the music's fine enough, but you just kind of like the portability and ease of it, like if you want to pop it outside or wherever. And so I think she was like, oh, I really like to have a small speaker, and she tried a couple that she bought on Amazon that were inexpensive and sounded terrible.
And they were just speakers to be speakers, like a portable, like
yeah, or like they were like little Bluetooth ones,
okay, yeah.
and they really didn't work very well. And so, I mean, I'm going way out on a limb, but somehow I think that led her to looking at Echo, because it was basically that same idea, but a much better quality speaker with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and some other functions added to it. So I think that's really why she got it, so she could have something to carry around and listen to NPR around the house.
Oh, she thought it was kind of a radio. I mean, she would use it like a radio or something like that.
Yeah, mostly like a speaker.
Like
right?
a speaker,
Just,
yeah.
So,
but then it ended up changing your life entirely.
Yeah.
Is that true?
In a way, right? Like, in a way, you do, and we've talked about this a lot, and it is kind of true. You sort of feel like there's a third entity in the house because you address it by name.
Yeah,
right?
that scared me, by the way.
It's kind of weird, right?
The first time you said, "Oh, this," I mean, you address this thing by name.
But you do, and like I said last night, it really dawned on me. I was home alone, and I'm packing all the climbing gear, and then just out loud, I'm like, "Hey Alexa, what's the weather going to be like in Joshua Tree tomorrow?" Like I would if there was another person there.
And willing to Google for you.
Right, willing to Google for me, which typically they're not.
Yeah, which was saying.
And then I just got the weather in Joshua Tree report, which was perfect. And then for the next several minutes, I had
it's
some...
been the same in the last,
right, they're like, yeah,
3 months,
Joshua
but
Tree.
you never know.
You should know the weather. But yeah, and then you just realize how often you do that during a day. So sometimes it feels like, oh, I never used that thing. And then all of a sudden you're like, or I just used it 27 times without thinking about it because I didn't have to physically interact.
How does it connect to... has Wi-Fi built into it?
It's Wi-Fi built into it.
So it connects to your router basically.
Yep. It's another Wi-Fi device
connected. So it's there's no like graphic interface to it. You can't like log into it or like change settings or how.
Yeah, you can because you can install an app either on your phone or on your computer.
Okay.
And connect that to your Alexa essentially.
Okay. So that's where you do your settings. You can change the language.
I imagine you could. Obviously I didn't look, right?
Okay.
It comes preset in English.
You're like, that works for me.
That'd be cool, actually. I mean...
Well, I definitely know
harder,
you can,
right?
you can change it like classic male or female voice, right? Like,
what voice do you use?
Go for Spanish.
We use the female voice because everyone wants the Gene Roddenberry experience in their house, right? Like, if it sounded like Nurse Chapel, that'd be the most ideal. Really, that would be awesome. And she sounds similar to that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy, man.
Yeah.
But I also, like, as convenient as you made it sound, all the stuff that it does, like, the fact that it doesn't plug into, like, a stereo system or something bigger, it's like a deal breaker for me. Like, I'm not even interested in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't meet my needs in that fashion, right? And my house is big, so that would be cool to have. But if it plays, all it does is play to a small little speaker. It can't do anything else.
No, but these things are going to come for sure.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
it's scary.
The current model has
It's going to cost a little bit more.
two significant drawbacks. One is that it has no output. Although we didn't investigate the Bluetooth output option, so I don't know if that's an option. So maybe it can sync to my stereo via Bluetooth, which would be badass. The other major downfall. Yeah, he's like.
I'm going to do the Alexa
We're
for
like
you.
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, Google.
That's Alexa.
Find out if Alexa can Bluetooth to shit.
See, they need to make a Lorenzo to check on an Alexa. The other big drawback to that device is that it needs to be powered all the time, which is sort of obvious, but it doesn't have an internal battery, so if you unplug it, it breaks whatever it's doing because it powers off. So you would think they would have thought, oh, this thing's going to go portable from room to room.
So it's plugged in to a power source.
Right, so you're just plugged into the wall or whatever.
Gotcha.
You would think they would have designed it so that when you unplugged it, you had 20 minutes
to move it.
with uninterrupted service, because that's really the only thing that we actually sort of
So you can't. So,
irritates us.
so you're saying that a drawback is that you can't just unplug it and go to another room, and you can't wait 20 seconds to ask it again what it was doing.
No,
or
like if
ask
say
it.
if you're in the middle of listening to an audiobook, a podcast,
Oh.
or a radio show, you unplug it to move it to the room that you're going to.
So apparently it
And
has
it shuts
Bluetooth.
off.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Apparently there is Bluetooth
And the
on the first.
the Bluetooth can send out.
Well,
I guess so,
It means
right?
you could connect to it, so I would guess
Yeah.
that's possible too.
Well, I know we can connect our phone to it, right? Send sound to it,
Yeah.
right? Like if I'm listening to something on my phone and I want to send it to there, I could. But I don't know if we can send the sound from it to the stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. That's
Bluetooth would be the ideal way to do that, because usually you can't Bluetooth to speakers usually, but you can Bluetooth, or you can't Wi-Fi to
Oh,
speakers, but you can
uh-huh.
Bluetooth to them, right?
right.
Bluetooth like speakers. But so that I keep forgetting that it's not playing on a different audio system, but it's playing on its own speakers, right?
It's playing on its own
I
speaker.
mean that's like
Deal
game
breaker.
over. Yeah, that doesn't. None of the functionality I would even imagine.
You're an audio, not fanatic, but you're an audio person. Is
ideal.
no audio.
Oh yeah.
You like
yeah,
quality.
I want it
You're-
louder.
yeah.
I don't want it to sound like a shitty podcast being recorded in a fucking
understand.
Prius with a bunch
Well,
of people
totally
dropping the microphone and
I mean,
unplugging.
here's what I would say.
That's unacceptable to me.
I would say that you have to experience it first and judge it, because I have a decent stereo and I like decent stereo sound, right? So I've spent money on that, but I do not mind, especially for dialogue-based stuff, podcast, audiobooks,
Yeah, no,
NPR. It's more than sufficient.
What?
Yeah, but let's say you put
That's
on, radio station and you listen to some music.
Well,
at some
that's the
point.
thing. It's like I listen to music through it. I think it's fine, personally, right? Like,
Really?
yeah, I'm
Okay,
like, I personally think it's fine.
Let me open
Open a dialogue.
a discussion. I don't know.
If you just get angry, just start talking Italian.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
No, I mean, don't you think?
I think I have one Italian listener.
So you got to say something Italian for that listener,
Yeah.
so that we won't even know what it is, and that listener will be like,
Ciao vecchio.
"Oh, son of a
What's
bitch."
Stravecchio?
Ciao vecchio. I mean, like.
Ciao vecchio. Go fuck yourself.
No. Hi, old buddy. Something like that.
Ah.
Ciao vecchio.
Ciao vecchio.
See, Lorenzo's
Ciao,
nice, and he's like, "Go fuck yourself."
Go fuck yourself.
I was like, the first thing I want to learn is all the bad words. I went to Italy for like two weeks, like, sometime. Well, first I went to Europe actually, so it was really fun. I spent 3 days in Bologna. And
Yeah.
I think in Bologna, I went to go see a concert.
Where? You remember the place?
It was like outside on the edge of the city.
Like
And it was like outside. When I left the concert, they had a They had a rave or something, some other like dance. So it was some big place. I don't know where it was.
yeah. We played to those.
I seen a band from Canada there. I went to go see. They let me in with a
I
ticket.
think I've seen the Violent Femme.
Oh,
They're
really?
actually from Canada, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Aren't they? Yeah.
So
I've seen them in Bologna.
that was really cool. And then also before that, I think that same day, I was walking around, spending time there, and I started walking down the street. And I started hearing like drums, and they were having that Paratot parade, the Dionysia festival. I think they have it every year there.
Which festival, sorry?
Paratot parade.
It's
Am I saying it wrong?
Partout or something.
Part two, something,
Probably,
yeah. And it's a Dionysia festival, so everyone's walking down the street. People start coming in with their faces painted. They're like dressed all crazy costumes. There's people dancing. There's drums, and they have like these big jugs of like wine, and they have a little string around their neck, and at the end of the string is a little cone, like an ice cream cone. But instead of ice cream, they're pouring wine into it. Everyone's getting drunk, and I walked in. I was walking towards the parade, and the parade started passing me. Then it got thicker and thicker. I turned around and followed the parade and started drinking with them. Ended up in the.
You can't stop them, right?
Yes, I ended up in the square. It was just a raging fucking party all night long. It was awesome. It was like that was the best experience ever, just to walk into like a massive party. Everyone was partying. People would come out from the streets, from the shops, and everyone would start drinking. And they had like one drum line, then they had more drums and another drum, and they were just drum circles everywhere. And people dancing. I took a lot of pictures that day. It was awesome. So
Great, yeah.
that was my experience in Bologna.
Yeah. Sounds like
I had a good time.
Bologna, yeah. You're making me feel homesick, actually.
Yeah. So it was fun. I would go back to that festival again because it was so awesome. I had such a good time.
Yeah, we have a few festivals, Gay Pride, things like that. Nice.
So you were gonna teach us some bad words in Italian. Don't be shy, Lorenzo. How long have you been here in the States, or what are you doing here?
4 years.
4 years?
I'm a physics researcher.
Oh wow, that's why you don't want to say any bad words. So this podcast is all about saying bad words. Well, I take that back. You don't have to say any bad words, but it's not frowned upon here. We're okay with that. I bleep it out. Oh no, I don't bleep out the F words.
Bleep it out. It is explicit, so I can't download it to my work phone. Bastard.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, so a physics professor. That's cool.
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. As you were saying, you start with a lot of passion, and maybe the passion, gets stuck for a while, maybe fades away a little bit.
Yeah.
But, it's there. Something is still
You
there.
have to work. I mean, whenever it's work, it means you're doing something because someone's paying you, not necessarily because you want to do it for fun.
Well, yeah.
Most commonly, right?
In these things, though, passion is a big part of it, right?
Yeah.
You don't do physics by mistake. Like, I didn't know what to do. I ended up being a physicist.
You don't do physics to get rich, right?
Yeah, not even that exactly.
You're not trying to. Yeah, that's cool. So 4 years ago.
4 years ago,
you like it here?
I landed in LAX.
LAX.
It was September. It was probably sunny. Yeah.
Probably sunny. Yeah, it's California for sure.
That's California. Yeah. It's beautiful.
You like it?
Look at this now. For the audience, now we're entering the desert. We have the San Jacinto mountain at our right. At the left, we have some other shit, which I don't know. And straight ahead, there's just the nothingness or the everythingness. I don't know.
We're getting near Palm Springs.
Yeah,
near Palm Springs.
I think that's San Gorgonio, right?
Yeah, the back of it, and then these hills are something else. But yeah, that's San Gorgonio Wilderness.
Yeah,
for sure.
And if you know the area, you can imagine that we're approaching the windmills.
So have you explored Southern California much since you've been living here, or?
Yeah, a little bit.
Was that the first time you've been here, just when you got here, or have you been to the States, or?
I came to the States the first time, 2007, and then I kept coming like once a year for a month to work with a friend.
Okay. So you kind of started building a relationship here to try to.
Yeah. So I wasn't new.
You didn't just land in LAX.
No.
For no reason. Hey, I know physics somehow. Someone hire me.
Give me some integrals, please. I want to sound some serious.
That's right. There you go. That's cool. So when I was in Bologna, it was 2007. But
I'm sorry.
When I went to visit to Bologna,
that was
2007. Yeah.
Oh wow! I was in Torino actually at that time. Another beautiful city in Italy. Very nice.
Been there before.
Yeah.
I would go back to Italy again. I had a really good time there.
Yeah. Torino is another nice spot. Really? If you happen to go there,
Yeah.
To be in the area.
Is that in the north or the south?
Northwest.
Okay.
It's close to the mountain.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think next time I would probably go visit more like the south because I only.
That's also not beautiful.
I only got to Rome. Actually, I went to Rome, and then one day we did a day trip to Pompeii, but I didn't go any further. But there's a lot of stuff
people
to say about it.
the people are more open as you go farther south. It's nice. You really feel. Yeah.
In the north.
Yeah, everybody's kind of friendly, I would say, but in the south are very generous. To an extent that is too much.
Right. Why?
People would invite you to dinner and force you to eat, stuff that it would be enough for 3 meals.
Oh wow, Spartosic! I think you'd be right up your alley there.
That's right.
South Italy, it is.
Going to South Italy. Fuck yeah.
That's interesting. A lot of times, I have another friend from the north, and they were saying, "Be careful down in the south. They're all thieves."
Well, that's true. It has to do. That's also true.
They steal your money but feed you.
That's that too. Yeah, they feed you and then they steal your money. Yeah.
They get you so full you can't chase them.
She basically her thing was just to be careful because I was going down there you know. And I was like, well, I'm having a good time. I'm not dealing with anything bad. I had a good, you know. But especially when I went to Pompeii, she's like, oh, now you're really going down to like Napoli.
Well, Napoli, you know, you've been there.
Yeah,
you've been to Napoli. You know,
really
that's
quick,
it's an experience. I mean, if you haven't been there, it's like being in a movie, like being in LA. For me here, it's also being in a movie, but that's a different movie. You know, like you have cars parked on the sidewalks everywhere, and sometimes you know the traffic is so jammed that you know when an ambulance has to go to the hospital, they would go on sidewalks because everything
else
is jammed, and people parked vertically. I mean,
that's crazy.
Yeah, kind of crazy, but it's also fun. If you're there as a tourist, it's nice.
Yeah,
maybe if you have to live there, I mean, it makes your life a little more complicated.
Yeah, it's a big city, right?
Yeah, and you get thieves, and it's not unusual. If you're at a traffic stop, there's this trick they do. They block you 2 cars, and 1 car in the front, 1 car in the back, cars at the side, and then with ease and calm, somebody breaks your window and steal things, or just ask your wallet.
Oh, so they carjack you? They
like open air, like that, and you're happy to give them the wallet if they let you go.
But they'll leave you like a piece of bread to eat.
Or 3.
They need a slice of pizza or something, right?
You can try to bargain. Yeah, please.
Please have this.
Please.
It's the least you could do after I rob you and break your window. Please.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's a funny opposing dichotomy, right? Where like, because I was surprised that you said it was so nice because you're from Bologna, right? So that's the north, right?
Yeah. You mean it's kind of a contradiction that there's this and that too? Yeah. Absolutely.
So the people are nice, but there's criminals. There's a lot of people.
Criminality.
Yeah, she's like, just be careful. Watch, pickpockets, blah blah blah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, that's the same in most major cities, at least in Europe. I feel like people, when you're traveling, you're a tourist, and you're more.
Napoli is a different story. Yeah,
it's even worse.
It's not the same as Paris, Paris have pickpockets on the metro, but it's not as big as Napoli.
So when I told her I was going down to Pompeii, she said to you, be careful. But
but I mean, don't get too scared either, because it's also, I mean, it's a region that had a lot of culture in the past.
That's
and
awesome,
still vibrates. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff down in the south I would like to go see.
Yeah, so it's a strange area. Yeah. If poverty somehow, because nowadays it's it's not such a rich area.
Kind of shit.
But you have a lot of culture and a lot of niches of very cultivated people.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of everything.
Cool.
Wow, look at this.
Can you hold this for a second?
Yeah.
You guys keep talking. Keep talking.
I'm just wondering if this truck is full of coffee. It has that
Best
suggestion,
coffee.
right? It's like tanker truck that says best coffee on the interstate on the back.
But you would say this is, the liquid coffee or grains?
I would assume
It's already made.
it was a
drip
liquid coffee truck, even though I'm sure it's just a gas truck. But it'd be much more interesting if it was full of coffee.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nuts, right?
Out of the pipe. Yeah.
Fucking right. And like Starbucks should do that. They should start piping coffee into trucks and driving around our national parks so we can have lattes.
Everywhere you go.
So we can have lattes.
That's right. I don't think they're enterprising enough.
So have you, Lorenzo, gone back to Italy to visit since you've been here?
Oh, actually, quite. I go back to Europe quite a lot.
You have family and friends over there, right?
I have my family, friends, and in summer, university is closed, so we get two months off.
Oh, nice! So you go back to Europe?
Yeah, we go there for conferences and a little break.
Nice.
And then I usually go back for Christmas. I say hello to my dad.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very fun.
And as I said, you can always squeeze in a conference or something like that.
So how long have you been climbing for?
Oh, climbing. It's been a while. The first time was 96.
Holy craboli.
Yeah. But never really
a lot.
Yeah. When I started, for a couple of years, I guess I was kind of into it. And then... But it's a passion.
Passion.
Not fanatic.
Not a fanatic.
Pseudo fanatic.
Pseudo fanatic.
It's definitely an addictive.
By the way, it's just climbing, dude.
That's kind of how I feel about climbing too.
Just climbing, dude. I have to climb the V10. Doesn't make me terrible.
You definitely not very often, but you run into some people at the gym who you feel like you could say, it's just climbing, right? Like you could put your shirt back on, and it would be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, but luckily, at least most of the gyms we go to in our gym, everyone's like really cool.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the people, I think.
Yeah. I think climbing, tend to gather, decent people on average.
Yeah.
If I can say that.
Sociable. It's a
Yeah.
very social sport. I feel like in some ways, especially bouldering.
Yeah, some lend themselves to it more than others. We're trad less and less.
Yeah.
Trad seems to be like, generally speaking, it's big buckets. Trad people are one type, sport are different, and then boulders are another one. Bouldering, I would say, is the most social, and maybe sport second behind that. But
Yeah.
trad people are really cool too. But sometimes there are people that don't like other people and just want to hang out.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have some friends like that. And the trad means you're only climbing with one other person, unless you're like a bigger team of like 3 or 4. But usually it's just the partner, right?
Uh-huh.
And you have.
So then you can see we are amateur because we are going to do track climbing, but I've been knowing you
we
for
might be assholes.
half an hour. Or assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, either.
Yeah, Lorenzo thinks he's trying to
Yeah,
climb.
exactly. So have you been trad climbing before?
I just started, before summer.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought a rack and
Oh, wow.
I went to Taki a few times.
Oh, Taquito is fun. I didn't go
It's
this
beautiful.
year.
Oh my god, yeah. I want to go there more.
Yeah, Taquito was kind of. That was some serious climbing, I felt. Just because you're going
I
so
didn't
high.
do anything serious, but it was fun. Tons of fun.
Yeah, cool.
I love climbing up there. I know. I wish I made more trips there in a year. I just get lazy.
Yeah.
Did you go this year?
I haven't been this year.
Actually, have you ever climbed on the Sierra trad, like real thing?
I've done a couple of trad routes in the Sierras, but not in like any of what I would consider like the really classic areas. Not like the Needles or the Domelands or anything like that.
But nice climbs.
There's a place called Iris Slab. It's up. It's sort of on the way to Mammoth.
What kind of slab?
It's
Iron slab. What do you call
Iris Slab. It's granite.
Okay.
It's slabby. There's some 5.5, 5.6s up there that we did. They're single pitch stuff.
Oh, single pitch.
Yeah.
Do you know any easy multi-pitch on the Sierra?
I don't, just because I've never climbed up there. I think in the Needles or the Domelands, there's a classic 4-pitch route called the Tree Route. It's a 5.5. That a lot of people say is great.
Oh, cool.
And that's Southern Sierras.
What's it called again?
It's called Tree Route.
Tree Route.
Yeah. You can find it on Mountain Project.
Tree Route, Sierra. Alexa.
Jay.
Come on, Alexa.
And in this car today, it's Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, check it out.
That's right.
Tree Route.
That's funny.
Climb.
That is funny.
What is a Tree Route football? Climb.
For some reason, I feel like I keep
Needles.
thinking we're gonna lose connection.
Me too. I was thinking we're about to lose connection over this pass right now.
That's the time, right?
It's like it's not live.
lose
There's
connection.
no people
Streaming.
listening right now.
We have to stream it live to YouTube.
That's right.
I am working on 2 different things right now. I'm working on one, being able to record someone somewhere else, like say you're in Bologna and I want to record with you. Get like Skype and figure out a decent microphone and some way to record the audio for my microphone and the person talking to me over the internet. Right? That's the first challenge. There's a couple of things I have to do to figure that out. Depending on making sure that it's actually sounds decent enough, right?
Yeah,
it might
you
sound too
sound
terrible.
quality.
I sound okay, but how does the other person sound? What are they using? So
Yeah, there is there are a couple of podcasts that I listen to that attempt to do like the podcast with people in different countries, and so far I will say it is not working out that great for them. But of course, it's all about
Skype or phone.
I don't know how they're doing it because they're not really telling you, right? They're having their podcast, but
well, there's different methods, right?
Yeah, and I just don't know how technically savvy they are, how much time they've put into it. But the ones I've listened to have not been that impressive. Although I suspect that you'll get it dialed before you put it out there, right? Like sometimes when I listen to their podcast, I'm like, really? Like, this is frustrating to listen to because one guy is super loud, the other two are totally inaudible, and the last person is kind of, like got some high-pitched whining going on in the background.
It's definitely, there's easy ways to do it, and then there's harder ways to do it, and then there's like there's a lot of different things you gotta like figure out, right?
Yeah.
Like some people record 2 different tracks and then they mix them together, depending on their mic. If the mic is good, if your connection sucks, and then once you have a conversation where you're talking to someone and I'm sounding great because I'm using my local microphone, and they're coming over the internet, God knows what microphone, through Skype or Hangouts, to be able to edit the conversation back and forth, that means you only got to slice those little parts that they're speaking to adjust to yours. That would be way too much work. So it's going to be a challenge. But
yeah, I think it's a challenge. I mean, right?
I'm hoping it's not too hard where it becomes something I can do regularly with someone else, other people. And maybe some people it works out better because you're going to have some technical abilities. And if you don't have that, then we can't do it.
Then all is lost.
All is lost.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing you're trying to do. And the second thing is being able to record it live and like stream it. So be able to record it and then publish it at the same time, so I can have like either someone come over for a guest, pick a time, and then maybe have other people listening and chatting with us, over the internet. That would be pretty fun, I think.
Yeah, then it becomes more like a radio show.
Yeah, exactly. If I can schedule it, and so I get, 5-10 people that want to listen to it, whoever, basically just friends, and we can have a conversation. And it would be cool if they could like call in, right?
Oh.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Just come in Skype with me and get conversation. So that would be much further down the road.
Well, I mean, I have listened to podcasts where they've had people just call in on their cell phones, and to me that works okay. The ones I've heard, as long as you're not trying to have like a 40-minute conversation.
Right. I actually did that for work. I was recording the microphone right here, where I'm standing, conducting a meeting, and the guys were calling me, and I put my headphones out to my little speaker system. So they were coming out over the speaker when they were talking, and it sounded okay. It sounded, like you said, not 40 minutes would be kind of annoying, but a small conversation would be okay.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of fun, right? It goes back to that thing we were talking about earlier, like the fake versus real Hollywood stuff. It's like,
yeah, it's an actual phone call.
Right. It sounds good. It's like you had somebody call in and like get the little like reporting live from.
But the real kicker would be, is anyone even going to call in? Is anyone listening? When it's being done live, right? But that's the thing about podcasts, that you can download it whenever and enjoy it whenever.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be tuned in. You don't have to have reception, right? You don't have to have a connection, even, unless you're streaming it. But streaming it live would be, I don't know if anyone would listen to it.
Well, I think it seems like you got to know your listener base and the topic, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. And how engaging could this be? And then you probably have to find a way to put it into a couple of podcasts and say, hey, on this date coming up, we're going to do a live thing.
Yeah, it takes preparation, right?
Yeah, you try to get some feedback to see how many people might be interested.
Or the cool thing is, and if you do that, let's say you start listening to it, hey, these guys are doing this live on this day, and I missed it, because you'll still download it and listen to it.
Yep.
Then next time you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna try to catch it at 9 o'clock this time and call in, and then maybe one person. You would have to build that up too, I think.
Yeah, I have definitely listened. Like you said, I follow just maybe a handful of film photography related podcasts.
For enthusiasts.
Dude. And they have done that on a couple of them. They've done sort of like like an instant photo show, right? Like we're only going to talk about instant photography in 2 weeks, and we want people to call in with comments, questions, or whatever. So they had some moderate success on one of the podcasts I listened to of getting an audience to call in to talk about something they're passionate about.
That's cool.
Yeah, and like I said, it worked reasonably well, even though the audio quality wasn't great, but only because you weren't listening to the caller for that long.
Right. Just like small snippets, right?
Yeah, it was almost like kind of like a what happened on a radio show, right? Like somebody would call in, ask their question, and then go off air while the host answered.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily a lot of back and forth dialogue, but it did work.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, I don't know, it depends on what you're talking about. So
Yep.
I don't know enough about anything to answer questions, but we can have
you can ask questions.
We can ask questions. Yeah, exactly, right. So I'll say example. I'll ask a physics question, and Lorenzo, you could be like
say some bullshit.
So some bullshit, yeah. You'd be the physics. So what do they call Alexa? What is that called? Personal assistant. What is that called? What category does that fall under? Like when you buy it on Amazon?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good. I don't know if they call it anything. It's just other than a device.
Well, it's not a speaker, right? It's a speaker.
Men's apparel.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's their device. It's sort of like their Kindle. I mean,
but it's tied. But it's tied, or is it tied to Amazon?
It is tied to Amazon.
So, like, how is it tied? So far, nothing you said has tied it to Amazon, as far as I can tell.
Oh, I mean, it's made by Amazon. It's an Amazon device. Obviously, it connects to your Amazon shopping list, right? So
you could put music in Amazon and movies. Can you play music from your Amazon account?
You can play music from your Amazon account.
Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely. You can, and then like Audible, because I'm an Audible member. Audible's owned by Amazon.
You're a what?
Audible Books.
Oh,
it's a service that you can download and stream like audiobooks. For
right?
Like a fee.
How much is
like
that?
Netflix, but for books.
It's like $15 a month if you want to do a monthly subscription.
Oh, but that's a lot.
Yeah,
$15 a month.
It works out like
for audiobooks.
For audiobooks, for a book, right? So, the service is weird. Like most audiobooks cost say $30 to buy an audiobook.
$30 for an audiobook?
Yeah,
that's more expensive than a regular book.
Yeah, but you gotta pay somebody to sit there and read for 6 to 20 hours.
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
and make content.
I guess you can find some free audiobooks out there.
There's a handful of free ones on their service.
So far, I haven't paid you shit. You've been talking for about 40 minutes.
Right. But now you gotta. If you want me to read a book multiple times,
it's gonna cost you.
It's gonna cost you. I have found, like, I love podcasts over the last couple of years since I started driving more in a car rather than motorcycle. I love audiobooks, right? Like, I love being able to sit in the car and listen to an audiobook.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing.
And some of the books are like 30 some hours long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Amazon, the Echo Alexa device, because Audible's owned by Amazon, you can also listen to your audiobooks on it.
So you listen to it in your car through Bluetooth? Or?
Right, I can listen to it through my car, through Bluetooth, through my iPhone, or if I'm at home, I can just tell Alexa to read my book.
Yeah.
And she'll just pick up, right, because the device, it's all integrated, and Audible will just remember where I was on my last device, and it'll just start from that point.
Oh.
So that sort of level of connectivity is cool, right? Like, I use Audible on my iPhone in the car.
Keeps track of everything.
And then I use Alexa at home.
Wow.
For the same thing.
So far, that's the one like really nice feature that I would be interested in. Although I don't like audiobooks, but it's really
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
a lot of people, that's really big now these days, right?
Yeah, I think audiobooks
especially
are good.
in LA, I guess.
You're in the car all the time,
with the traffic.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And I listen to my podcast through Alexa too. Like I said, everything
might be listening to this one through Alexa.
Yeah, everything that's dialogue based, I really enjoy that device for. Music, I don't mind. Right, like
it's not the best, but it's better than not having music whenever you want.
I don't normally turn my home stereo on unless I'm like listening. Right, like if I'm gonna play an album or sit down, then I'll turn my home stereo on. If I'm just listening to music, I'm listening through my computer speakers or my headphones. Alexa sounds,
I think this
equally better or as good as my computer speakers any day of the week, maybe better.
Yeah, which are very bad.
Yeah.
You know, right? Like, so to me, I'm like, oh, this is a
I'm
way.
speaking for my friend here who is an audiophile.
Yeah, you're talking about computer speakers from a laptop or from a desktop?
I have a desktop and I got like a 3-speaker system with a subwoofer.
That's okay.
That's not too bad.
That's not too bad.
It's not. You're saying it sounds better than that?
It sounds as good.
No.
How big is Alexa? I'm not misunderstanding. Oh, so it's big.
It's about that big.
That's the speakers built to that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's quite the same.
Oh,
but
see, I was thinking it was something small like this.
No, I mean, have you seen like the little jawbone speakers and the JBLs? It's on par with that level of audio.
You screw the stereo. It's no stereo, right?
It's no stereo, but it does sound about as good as my particular home stereo or my home computer speaker setup with a little subwoofer, right? Like, those aren't great. You're not breaking anything, but for everything, I'm like, but they're good enough for what I do. I don't even think about it. I have no desire to upgrade them or get something better.
I like having a speaker like in the shower, in the restroom sometimes.
Yeah.
So like have music. Right? I'm listening to a podcast. I want to go in there. And I have this one. I actually threw it away because it stopped working. But having a speaker that I can like continue listening while I'm taking a shower, or getting ready, you know, instead of having my stereo, which is in the living room, or my computer, which is in my bedroom. That's even when I put it really loud, I really can't hear. I can't hear conversations. I can hear music and kind of make out it, but the conversation, you know.
I mean, who wouldn't want like a decent speaker in every room in their house that you could just flip through, right, as you went through your house? So that way you don't have to play your shit really loud, because I don't like stuff loud. I just like it to sound clean.
Yeah.
And good. And I don't mind loud sometimes, but loud isn't like, I don't want to turn my stereo on really loud and then go in another room and listen to NPR. I just want NPR right there. I just want to hear it.
No, absolutely. No, but I mean, it's a cool thing.
Are you convinced now? This is a advertisement here brought to you by Amazon. Alexa Echo.
No, but I mean, I said it right away. I mean, sooner or later we're all gonna have something like that at home.
That's the part, right? I mean, I think that's where we start getting old. Like,
but it's not so bad. I mean, when I was a kid, you know, and I was looking at sci-fi movies,
all the cool shit they were doing.
There was something like this, I guess, in some movie, and I'm expecting that the future has to be like that. It's kind of cool,
So I think it's cool because we've seen these things in movies and we have this imagination for the future. But what's scary now is that in the environment we live in, we're being fucking watched. Everything's being tracked, and people are stealing our data in the government, and that makes it like, oh, this is not as cool as that vision I had, you know, about the future. We have this other thing where it's like people can do bad stuff. I
mean, there's pros and cons, right? When they invented printed paper, right? Gulliver, whatever. I mean, sorry for your listener.
Well, if they're listening, they're a listener.
That's right.
What do you mean paper? Like, what do you mean?
When they invented, you know, how to print
paper.
How to print books on paper.
The printing press.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a scandal. That's too much information
it wasn't
on paper.
Well, that was, you know, it brings, you know, good things, and also
that was like the internet of that day. Right?
That was the internet of those days, and you know there were new problems arising, right? Of course, now you can advertise things, you can spread culture, which is good, but you can also advertise propaganda, wars. I mean, everything. You know, it can be used for good and for bad. I mean,
I can't believe that shit happened in Paris, man. That's true. I was in Paris this year in July. I was just there.
It's all I listened to like last night.
Me too. I couldn't help listen to the BBC because I was like, it was horrific. It was fully horrific, and it was really sad.
It's really sad.
Like, just people were in a concert, like, I don't know, like people just, even when they have like bombs in the Middle East, like fuck, they say like, you know, 30, 40 people die. It's like, God damn, man.
Well, you know, you
feel more distant from it, but like,
you hate that
people
like
die. You know,
it's probably sort of an unpopular opinion. It's not like I condone it. Like, I can sort of quasi understand an attack on something like the towers, right? Because they're sort of like economic and political symbols in a way. I don't think you should do it, but when you just go out and start killing random people on the street that have no like, there's no political, there's no military, there's no.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but these were random people in the towers, right?
Yeah.
Right, no, the people in the towers were random.
It's
but
a symbol, yeah.
The towers themselves
were a symbol.
And they, and it's sort of like economic damage, right? It's like I don't agree with it, but I can kind of understand it more if
this was a little more confusing. But it also
this one is just like
also,
senseless, random.
It's
like,
a symbol of what would happen in America, right? The senseless stuff, shootings that we have here,
right?
But I think they have more. It wasn't as senseless over there. I think when the rest of the picture starts to come out, I think that's what that place was. Barclays or something like that. It was some place that was really. It was like a big symbol, and it was an American rock band that was playing there.
Right.
So
the restaurant was a Cambodian restaurant.
Yeah. So
nothing to do with
I'm not
France.
Sure. Yeah.
Poor people. I mean, middle class people going there.
The part of it too is to make it senseless is they're trying to instill terror, right?
Yeah.
So they could be wherever you're at, you're not safe. That's also part of their point. I mean, I get what you're saying about the towers and this being different, but
I felt like the stuff that happened here on 9/11 was a political attack.
Well, yeah, because it was the Pentagon. It was
right, and then this stuff now that's happening, it's like this is like different.
You mean there are less political? I mean, justification. I don't think is the right word, but I mean,
it's
rational.
It's irrational. It's their justification.
When you're attacking political things,
I mean, because they're unjustified, of course.
Yeah, right. I'm just not sure that an attack on a political target is what I would call terrorism, right? Like this feels like terrorism, like the word encompassing it. You're just trying to spread.
Yeah, I know.
Like insecure feelings and terror, and like you're just killing random people in random places because they're vulnerable because they live in a free and open society. Whereas if you attack political targets or military targets, I'm like, yeah, there's a war going on and
like
it's terrible. Embassies. I'm like, but it doesn't feel like it's like you almost need a different words, right? Like one thing is, we call it all terrorism, but I'm like, we really should call them separate things.
Yeah, terrorism is a bad word. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right, like this, what happened yesterday, today, it feels like to me what I would
I think
call
terrorism has always been on the bullshitty side by definition. I mean, because it wasn't really terrorism by definition is not really targeted at a precise goal, but it's more like instigating a sense of terror
that's why I'm like
against I don't know exactly what
right.
In Italy we had terrorism of red extreme left oriented parties. They were against at some point there was a left and right party were trying to come to a close point and make an agreement in order to go good things to proceed and make a compromise and do stuff. And these guys started an age of terror.
Oh wow!
Against Moro. Yeah, that was the 70s.
Okay.
Wow.
Anni di Piombo. Yeah.
Maybe we should do a podcast. Not that where we just drive around and interview people at bus stops. Did you see those people?
Yeah.
You're like,
where are we now?
I immediately want to know what their story was.
Dude, we see nothing but interesting people out here in the desert, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, this girl is wearing a winter knit hat with a dude sitting next to her on a bicycle. Like a BMX bike next to the swap meet at the bus stop in the desert, right? You're like, there's got to be a story here. Something's going on.
There's a lot of interesting people out here for sure. Every time we come out, man, that's part of coming out here. It's like the charm of Joshua Tree in this area, right?
I love coming out. I don't even care
even
if
when
I
we didn't climb. Last time I came, we didn't even climb, and we just took a run and we were taking pictures, and it was really fun.
Oh yeah,
so I love also to scramble around inside, just no
nice.
hole.
Dude, we were just in town. We didn't even leave town.
Yeah,
oh really? You just stayed here? Yeah.
One time, we were having fun out here, not even going inside because it's interesting. Yeah. We should go to Pioneer Town sometime.
Oh, I want to go to Pioneer Town.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So,
I went up there one night
with Joanne,
and we couldn't eat because the restaurant there, I think it's like, what is it? Something in Harriet's.
Pappy or Happy,
something like
Harriet's,
that. Yeah, Pappy and Harriet's.
Where is that actually? Pioneer Town.
It's like 20 miles or 8 miles or
here
6
east.
miles.
It's up this way.
Oh, okay. Because there is another desert here north, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of deserts all
Yeah.
around here for miles, all the way to the borders.
It's supposed to be there's a restaurant there called like Poppy and Harriet's.
Yeah.
Like apparently like celebrities used to go there like way back in the day, and they kind of made it famous, and it's still pretty popular. I mean, the night we went up there, it was packed, like cars lined up and down the sides of the freaking highway, and you couldn't get a table, you couldn't get a bar stool, you couldn't get anything.
So Lorenzo, have you been to Joshua Tree before?
Oh, like 15 times.
All right, just cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. You're leading then.
Oh, actually, we need a pass. Do you have a pass?
I have a pass.
I have a pass, but I think it's expired.
Mine's good still.
Nice.
Good,
I don't think I got one yet. I think this is the first time I've been out.
Oh, and
Is that
do you know
true?
where you want to go?
Yeah, we can figure it out. Like, I don't mind doing some of the kind of the classic, easy routes, just to get up a couple of things.
Absolutely.
So
Which
yeah.
would
I'm
be-
gonna.
I know the
Well, I'm
Can we
voting.
stop? Can we stop before we go in so I can use the restroom?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I wanted the same. I was voting for Cyclops just because I haven't done it for so long. And I love that
That
route.
one's awesome too. Yeah.
where's that? That's in the main.
It's near intersection,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it's long, right? It's like it's over 100 feet.
All right, you guys.
Beautiful.
Let's wrap this one up now. Anything else you want to say, Mike? We're gonna see plug your stuff. Do you want to send out your URL where someone can find you online? Kind of deal.
Sure. You know what's kind of sad is do you do show notes for this show?
Yeah.
I was gonna
put it in
say
the show notes.
you may have to put it in the show notes because I know I'm on Flickr and I have a wedding photography website where people can see my stuff, but I don't know my Flickr.
You don't know all the URLs.
I think it's just Michael Bartosik, right? Like Flickr.com stuff, but I don't actually know the URL.
Yeah, I usually have a
Like-
section with the show notes, and I'll put all the guest links. So
Nice.
we'll put your Flickr, Facebook, and Instagram on there if you want.
That'd
for
be
you.
great.
Yeah, and then
and
your
I-
photography website, which is what? It's still at F what?
It's f4photographyla.com.
Yeah. So
That one I know.
That one you know. Good.
Yeah.
The business one you know.
The business one I know, that's just, but and right now it's mostly geared towards weddings. Although I'm thinking about expanding it.
Yeah.
You
That'd
know,
be good.
there's a lot of content on there that's not visible, so
Yeah.
maybe time to make it visible.
Lorenzo, I think we're gonna have a good day today climbing.
Absolutely.
You seem like a fun person to hang out with. So
I can give you the link to my latest paper if you want, and
what is the paper concerning?
or if you're sick, most probably. If you're stuck in a hospital, you don't know what to do. You
Well,
download it.
what is your paper cover? What is it concerning?
Oh, I just posted a paper on the recurrence time
What does that mean for us non-physics people?
for actually philosophy. Some philosopher thought that things repeat themselves continuously. Actually, with little variation, but they tend to. It comes in very
Ad nauseum.
many philosophies, and it actually happens in a precise way also in the real world.
Oh wow! All right, so we'll include your link to that because I might have to listen to that.
Yeah,
And then
I like that.
if it's like
idea.
30 hours, I'll just record all of it, and then someone can listen to my podcast of reading your paper.
That's right. It'll be the first free audiobook.
First free audiobook. Yeah, 'cause I have so much spare time.
And it'll be infinitely long because you'll just record it and then loop it because it's all about recurrence.
Recurrence over
Absolutely.
and over and over.
You got the
My live
point.
stream.
These are smart kids.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, you can find me at eddyism.com. Oh, I also got my first, I got 3 reviews on iTunes already. One was Eric, who was here a couple weeks ago on my podcast. And Lena, I added her review, and I got this mysterious one. I don't know who it is. It says something about, it keeps getting better every time. Good work.
What,
But-
girl?
No, I don't know. It has some name. I forgot. I was going to write it down, but since I'm driving or in a car and holding the microphone, I can't look it up right now. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
if you guys want to leave a review on iTunes or Stitcher, that helps out a lot. And you can subscribe there as well. And find me at eddyism.com and eddyism at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, you guys. Time for a hard day of climbing. Say goodbye, my friends.
Bye.
Bye.